Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Oracle Batie-Smith, and I'm so happy that you are here. As you can see today, I would really like to cover the topic of trust and really how it's your way to the ultimate flexibility in your life and really living in that idea of freedom. So I'm sure by now that you've heard of meditation. And I started a long time ago, and it's definitely been a journey for me. But I want to go ahead and just upfront let you know that that is the basis of what we'll talk about today. And I really feel the access to trust, flexibility, and freedom. I feel that when I got into my meditation practice and really committed to it, that love was the only thing that I was asking of myself. I was asking myself to operate in the world for the sake of love. So love has some things, and it includes clarity. And so I have notes so that I can be clear. So that's my disclaimer for the day. Like and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be bringing you all kinds of loving messages that really help you unlock your life, master yourself, live in freedom. I'm just here for it, right? So let's go back to what I was saying. Personality, right? So a lot of the times people want to be free to be who they are. You want to be free to express yourself fully in the world. You want to be able to say what you want to say. You want to be able to do what you want to do, go where you want to go. When we think about freedom, that's what we think about. Like, how can I do whatever it is that I want and feel good about it every day? Like, no one has to suffer because I'm doing what I want to do. Like, that's the ultimate key to freedom. But we really think about that from a space of our personality. I like this, I like that, I'm good at this, this is what my family does, this is the community I'm from, this is the culture, I like this culture. But I'll tell you that our personalities are only a glimpse of who we really are. Your personality is a smidge of who you actually are. And your body and even the spirit that's within your body is a tiny piece of who you really are. Like, who you are, if it all came into your body, especially my little body, if who I am actually completely descended up in this body, it would explode. It would explode. There's just not enough room in here to manage all of that light, to contain all of that light. There is, a higher level, a higher vibration, a part of me that just simply trusts and knows, because it is the essence of the part of me that is the droplet in the ocean of God, right? You will hear people who are in spirituality call it your higher self or your true self. Your soul is in the body, but your spirit is in heaven. You'll hear those different things, and there's a lot of truth to that. I know that depending on how you got to this video and what you've learned before it, you're either confirming or questioning what I'm saying. And I'd ask that you, allow that to possibly be true just for this conversation. Let's just say that there's this big part of you that is truly connected to what you're experiencing now as you, but that it is this all-trusting, all-knowing, divine truth, divine energy, divine you. There's a wholeness to you, right? The thing with life, and the purpose of life, I truly believe, is to bring heaven to earth, to bring the love from that divine part of you into a practical experience of life. And that this desire that we have to be free isn't necessarily, I mean, it's definitely not to be free of the body. It's not necessarily even to be free of challenges or problems or loss or any of that. It's to be free in the mind. It's to be free in the emotion, and it's to be free in manifestation, right? It's to be free in creation. You want to start a business, you want to be able to do everything you need to start that business, and you want that business to be profitable. You want a relationship, you want to be free to choose who you want to be in a relationship with, and you want that relationship to be positive and prosperous. You want to have children. Well, you want that process to go well, and you want to feel good along the way and enjoy every bit of conceiving a child all the way through growing and teaching and nurturing and loving and watching another soul, another being come through your lifestyle. So with all of that, I mean, your personality cannot handle all of that. Your personality, is built on a lot of experiences. It's not divine, because your personality, if you're being honest with yourself, has a few flaws. It has a few biases. It has a few problems. It doesn't like everybody. It doesn't like everything. But there's a truth about you, a divinity about you that accepts it all, that accepts everything. And from that clarity and that freedom of accepting everything, it allows you to create, to address the things in that chaotic world, in this chaotic world that we're in. It allows you to address those things that really get you going and evolves your personality, right? So how, Oracle, how do I do that? I want that. How do I connect with that bigger part of me that has fizzled a little bit of itself down into this body as my soul? How do I get back up into that space without exploding, right? One way, a couple of things are definitely energetic gateways, gratitude, appreciation, acceptance, those things. But the key to being able to tap into those divine energies, those pathway makers, those good vibes, you really need to accept that you got to meditate. To meditate is to really connect to the part of you that doesn't use words. Like I was telling my coaching client earlier, I was like, listen, I asked him, I said, how often do you meditate? And he was like, once a month. And I'm like, all right, so if you are only connecting to who you truly are once a month, what do you think is running your life? Right? And he didn't say anything to that question because I know, right? And I ask you, if you're not meditating or you're meditating only sometimes, what do you think is running your life? Ask yourself that. Do you think that God is running your life if you're only sitting in silence once a month or not at all? Do you think that you're running your life? And that's just a question. We don't have to address it today. I'm completely open to you leaving me some messages in the comments below and letting me know, what you think is running your life. And if there's some topics or some things that you'd like for me to address in a video about those things, and I'm definitely open to doing that. So, feel free to communicate with me down below. But my point in all of that was to tell him this key thing. Sweetie, you have something that is so true that it trusts everything. And it's not an it's the true you. The true you doesn't think it is not free. The true you has no limitation. And it is always, always in communication with you. And you are always, always in communication with you. There is no severance, right? There's no releasing. It's almost like, and not to go morbid, but let's just go there, right? It's almost like when you die, it's not that your soul floats out of your body. It's like your spirit reclaims itself and brings it back into the totality. It's almost like that piece of you that's been in residence in your body and in residence in this paradigm, in this 3D reality. That piece of you is reclaimed by the fullness of you. The beauty of the fact that you're not your body and your mind, that you are that true thing, is that you can decide through meditation to allow your spirit to reclaim you while you are still here. And if you allow the spirit that you are to reclaim you through communication with yourself via meditation, then you can live the freedom of your true self while you're here on earth. You can become truly who you are. You can accept truly what you are as that truth. And you can be in service. You can serve as your true self in that. And that service part is your freedom. Because anyone who is not in service has only self-gratifying intentions. And you'll end up realizing that you need, immediate gratifications, and you're wanting to hold on to things, you're attached, you're wounded, you're hurt, you're all of those things because you're not in service. But the only way to be in service is to be free. And the only way to be free in this lifetime is to allow yourself to be reclaimed by the God in you, to be reclaimed by the divine being that you are, to wake up to the fact that you're bigger than what you think you are, that your personality is a glimpse of who you really are. So if you go to meditation, right, and why Oracle is meditation this big deal? Okay, so I even believe all that, I get all that, but why is meditation the way for me to get there? Why isn't it, what are the other ways if there's other ways? And I'll tell you right now, when my higher self lets me know there's another way, I will make a video and tell you, discovered a new way. However, it's not even the word meditation, because the way you feel about that, whether you're like on this video because you're like, yes, meditation, or whether you're in this video because you're like, freak, I do not want to do that, I just want to be free. It's not about the word. It's about you realizing that it's about silence. If I go back to my coaching client, right, what I told him was, you're communicating all the time with your divine self because you're connected and it knows everything. It's in complete freedom. So there's no thought, no action, nothing that you can really do to not be in communication with your true self. It's just always happening. It knows your desires. It knows when you need money. It knows when you're heartbroken. It knows when you're confused. It knows all of that. What you don't know is what it is saying back to you if you haven't gotten quiet enough to hear it. And it doesn't come in words. I mean, church and all of those different things that we do, talking to a friend, those things act as confirmations and signs of your alignment. But to get like the truth, to get that trust, to get that communication that is perfect for you, you have to listen to yourself. Initially, when you start meditation, you're probably just going to hear a bunch of thoughts, especially if you're a once a month meditator. Your brain thinks it's you. And your brain thinks it's you. Your mind thinks it's you because you think that you're your mind. So it's not like your brain or your mind is chasing you down and hunting you down and wanting to hurt you. It's that you actually think that you're your mind. And so when you sit down to meditate, you're going to hear your mind. You're going to hear the thought tornadoes, is what I call them, swirling around, giving you ideas, regurgitating, whatever it is that you believe. It's going to be talking to you the entire time. And it's going to be in defense of being quiet because you've never asked it not to be. So it's doing exactly what you've asked it to do because it's yours. It's not who you are. It's a tool of yours. It belongs to you. So as you have programmed it, it's going to run the programs, and it's not going to stop running the programs because it wasn't made to stop until you actually remind it, no, you're not in control here. And you do that by not giving it anything to eat, by not feeding it any thoughts, by sitting and being quiet until your mind slows down. And then when that happens, you will experience a new sound. And that sound and that frequency will be you. And it's that simple. I know it's not simple in practice, but if I can explain it in 2 minutes, it's that simple. And, the reason that silence is the requirement, because there has to be a way outside of language to communicate with your higher self. Like, I speak English. I don't speak any other languages, at least today I don't. And then there's another person with a true self and a divine self that speaks Spanish. And there's another person, with a divine self that speaks French. If, the true and the divine spoke in words, which words are symbols for symbols, then, there's some distortions and some illusions and all of this stuff that has to be sorted and sifted in order for you actually to get the message. Silence and surrendering the silence to the fact that you know that you're divine and allowing your divinity to, connect and inform you and speak to you, that doesn't need words. It doesn't operate in the space of language because we created language with our mind. It is just it's like a taking off all of the layers so that the truth can just settle in. It's not, I need you to explain to me true self or divine self. It is, no, I need you to be me. I need you to reclaim me. I need you to operate me. I need you to enhance my personality. I need you to enhance my business. I need you to enhance how I listen. I need you to enhance how I think. I need you to enhance me. I wake up to the fact that their human being experience is just one facet of what I actually can experience. I can experience a spiritual experience in balance. Because you can't sit in silence all day, or you can, but you're not required to live free. The only thing that you're required to do is realize your freedom isn't built into your personality or what you do or how you act. Your freedom is built into your surrender to the fact that you know that you're a free being in the first place. And your mind will not remedy that until you have the experience of yourself. And meditation is the way we experience ourselves. Go and research any sage, any messiah, anything of any mystic. They were avid meditators. They were silent a lot. There's this, idea that if you sit in silence for the number of minutes that are equal to your age, that you will be able to connect to your divine self. And I've tested that and I've proved that it's true. And I've also tested and proved that when I stop meditating and when I allow my personality to take over and to be a lone ranger, whether I pray or, church and do all those things, no matter, what community I'm in, even if it's the community of my own brain and my own thoughts, that it's nothing like what I feel when I connect to all of who I am. And so the video is about trust and how trust is the gateway to freedom. And so one, you're going to have to meditate to get this. But two, the real key and the reason why is because who you truly are already trusts. That's the gag, who you actually are as a divine being trusts it all. Trusts everything. Is free from every limitation, every judgment, every miscommunication, everything. It's just who you truly are is like seriously free. So the thing about it is just not having to do a bunch of stuff, but having to get to a place where you find a relationship with yourself and then to surrender to your true self and say, as I am as you, I trust myself. As I am as me, I trust myself. As a space of the divine as you can actually feel your trust and you can feel your resistance to it. And that's the beauty of meditation, is that you'll be able to feel the energy that is circulating and causing the thoughts that you think, or you will be able to feel the energy that is circulating as a response to the thoughts that you think. And as you begin to feel those things, and as you begin to recognize the feelings of freedom against the feelings of resistance, you can come into that meditation and continue to surrender and surrender and surrender into that trust starts to become your new personality. And when you trust everything, then the idea of lack dissipates without question, and you find yourself being able to open your eyes and walk into your life in complete freedom. You find yourself just being able to trust yourself completely and walk through your life in complete freedom. So, trust is directly correlated to freedom. But what you're trusting isn't what is on the outside of you. And what you're trusting isn't necessarily just the part of you that's on the inside of you. You are choosing to trust all of you, starting with trusting your divine self to show up when you meditate. Most people do not meditate because they do not trust that their divinity will show up and meet them in that silence. And that is where I challenge you. I challenge you to put who you truly are to the test. And not even to the test, because there's no test the divine. There's no testing the divine. Instead, you give your divinity access to your body. You give your divinity access to your mind. You give the divinity access to your choices. You give it access to your thoughts. You give it access to, your past so that it can heal it up. I mean, when you were born, you had no problem with trusting. Whoever was there to catch you caught you and you went home with them. And as you were a child, you also had to trust the environment, because the world we live in says that you need people. And you do need people. But somewhere along the way, as you started experiencing people, you lost and forgot how you came here with ultimate trust. And if you sit in silence and you go back into yourself and, remember that first smile that you ever had in this world and all that came before it, what was smiling was your true self. That divine thing that, pigeonholed itself into this body to give you access to life and to breath. Get bigger. Come back out of that pigeonhole. Come through your heart, through your mind, through your crown, and go back into heaven. And then have that relationship where you're able to go up and down into heaven and bringing it back to earth, into heaven and bringing it back to earth. If you get that practice down, baby, you're going to be free out here. You're going to master yourself because a bunch of stuff is going to come up for you to address, and your true self will be like, don't worry, you can trust me. You can trust this journey. You can trust being alive. You can trust all the feelings that churn. You can trust why all the thoughts that you think are present. You can trust that everything that you desire to change can change. And you can trust that you are free. You are free. You are free. So that's the message for today. I hope it's exactly what you needed. I hope that it's everything that you asked for. And I hope that it's a true motivator to you to go out there and be the best version of yourself. And that is the true and divine version of yourself. I'm Oracle Batie-Smith. Check out the links below for any other ways to connect with me. I look forward to encouraging you more. Take care.